Hey there everybody, Brian here from Fitzpatricks. So I want to show you, this is the first chance I've had to see this model here, which is what's called an Executive Plus. This one we've had for a while, which is what's called a Premium. So this video is basically to show you, it's kind of the first look we've had of the Executive Plus, because we've had the Premium. Most garages in Ireland got the Premium first. The Executive Pluses are starting to come in now. Just to give you an idea, if you're unfamiliar with the car, there is an Executive, there is an Executive Plus, there's a Premium, and there's a Premium Plus. For kind of information about charging the car and owning the car and driving the car and all the kind of cool information about the car and stuff you probably need to know, I have this video here which is much more detailed and runs through every aspect of owning the car. So just go into YouTube and type in Ioniq5 Doolan, D-O-O-L-A-N. You'll find this icon here, click it, and that's a very detailed video. And I think that video will be able to give you a lot of information about owning the car and how it runs, and really a lot of the really kind of interesting stuff that came around the car. This video might be a little bit more boring, and the reason is it's just to show you physical differences that I can see between the two cars right now, inside and out. I will get to a point where I'll be able to do all four models when we have all four models in stock. It's just we don't have them. But for the moment, this is just to show you Model 2, which is the Executive Plus, and Model 3, which is Premium, just kind of rough differences between them, that's all. So hopefully it might be of interest for somebody that hasn't seen their Executive Plus model that they've already ordered yet. Starting off the front of the car, so there is these multifaceted reflectors, which are the headlights that are in the car here on this model. So the lighting along through here, you can see there's a really cool parking light, and then in there you have this sort of reflective LED style in through there, that's fine. A little bit different on the Premium. The Premium actually has these dual LEDs. See these little guys that are in here, whereas the other one reflects on a background. These are actually LEDs that are pointing out. So at a glance, you know, it doesn't make a massive difference, but it is probably fair to say that the headlights on that model there over here, which is Premium, should be a little bit superior to the Executive Plus model, but that's not to discount them because they do have LEDs, they look really nice, and LEDs are always really good. One other thing I do see along here, if you've looked at a Premium already, you might have seen that it has the nose. They're actually lights lit up along here, whereas we'll say when we look at the Executive Plus, it is a brushed aluminium finish, but it doesn't have the light up effect. But it does have the gloss black little split section, which is also on the other model as well. As I look down low on the bumpers, it's got the same brushed aluminium section down low along here. So really at a glance, I see absolutely no difference on the bottom end of the front of the car. There is one difference that does stick out, and again, it's to do with lighting, and that is to do with indicators. So on the Executive Plus model, got those really cool headlamps, and then you got halogen down low on the bumpers as the indicators. Whereas if we zoom out and look at the other one over here, now I do apologise, at night time it's just getting that time of year where it's hard to get daylight to do the video, but these ones actually have on the Premium model an actual LED unit that's built in where you can actually see the parking lights were on the daytime running lights as well. But really after that, I mean, leaving out indicators at the front of the car, it's very much of a muchness is what I was trying to say. Anyway, that's probably not a good way to describe things. But round to the rear of the car, okay, so over on Executive Plus over here, very similar pixels for taillights. So that's the same on both sides. Probably another similar thing is, so you got these really cool pixelated taillights here. You got them over here as well. If we remember, there was the section that joined the left to the right on the front, which are all the little lights that were lighting up. There's something similar in red this time along the back over through there as well. So that's pretty neat. Again, same idea. If you look on the Executive Plus, it has halogen down low in the bumper for the indicators, whereas this one will have the LED indicators, which are located a little bit higher and closer to the rear lights as well. So after that, the next thing that's pretty visible is you can see there's a diffuser down along here, which is brushed aluminium. Same over here. They seem to be absolutely identical, but if you look along here, this section here is a nice light silver type of finish, whereas this one over here is a much darker black finish. As a quick observation, this is black along here, so like we're saying, brushed aluminium here, silver section along here, marginally small little bit of black along through there. This one a little bit more complex. Again, it has the silver skid plate. That's what I meant to say. This is called a skid plate. This is black. Okay, so I'm going to stand out for a sec. This is black So you have black contrast in the center there, but in this one, it's got a small little bit of silver along there. So it does break it up actually. And again, when you leave out the indicators on both cars, I mean, at a glance, yes, small little differences that we've just talked about. But if you drove up behind this car at night, or if you drove towards the car from the front end, at a glance, they're equally as impressive to look at. It's only when you get into the finer details that you start to see the differences. One other thing I do see on Executive Plus, this is much darker along through here. The other thing as well is the the reverse lights along here are just a little bit more evident, whereas when I go across to this one here, they're a little bit more hidden. And I think the reason for that is because this is a much lighter color along through there. So I don't think that it's any design difference really. It's just when you look at this is a lighter shade, whereas this one is a darker shade, and it exposes the reverse lights a bit more, but that's probably just because that's black to match this black section along here. Staying in the tone of black, so if you look at a premium, again, because this area was a kind of brushed silver along through here, the arch and all the way down the side remains the same. And what you do see then is this section here. So these are slightly different colors. This is a slightly lighter silver, this is a bit darker, and then that's a kind of dark gloss black line along there. If we compare that, just standing up and look at the other one, so you can see this one's a much darker black. Don't be fooled by this part here, that looks like it's a white line, but it's actually not. It's just, I'm going to leave it on it for the moment. This is gloss black, that whole white line is gloss black underneath. It's just a sticker that needs to be peeled away, that's all. So I guess what we're saying, when you look at the side of this car, which is the premium, like what we talked about already, silver moves from the back down the side and around to the front, whereas Executive Plus then has a black section that comes around the back and goes all the way down the side. And yeah, I suppose in a slightly contrasting fashion, it comes around here and meets the black, but you also have this large brushed aluminium section along through there. But again, like what we said already, silver over here, black over here, and that just matches what we've already seen on the rear of the vehicle. I mean, to be fair, there is not, at a glance, like what I said, if you met the car driving on the road or something like that, there's really not a massive difference between them. It's only when you start looking at things like, we'll say, small little colour differences in the way the LEDs are and stuff. But for some people that really enjoy those things in the car, then yes, the premium is the one for them. Whereas somebody that's looking at it at a more pragmatic point of view and they're impressed by all the other things in the car, then possibly Executive Plus will work for them as well, and they'll save the money. At the time of the video, that's about €4,000. From a visual point of view then, I can't really see much of a difference. Both spoilers are the same on the rear of the car, and both cars then have dark privacy glass on the rear as well. Looking at the inside on both cars, this Executive Plus then, as you can see, has a really dark fabric black. They are just white little transport stickers that are all the way around the car for the moment. So I reckon when they're taken off, it'll look the exact same as this. So I really see no difference at all. In terms of the charging equipment that comes in both cars, there's no difference between them whatsoever. So really in the back here, there's nothing different to see. One other small feature though that I've noticed is, see along here, this is gloss black. So down this B pillar, round onto the A pillar on the back, and down onto the mirrors here. This is all gloss black, this section along here. On the premium, on Executive Plus, it's a dark matte black finish. Small little detail, you'd miss it fairly quick, but again, that's what I'm saying to you, on these cars, at a glance, they're awfully similar. It's just when you start to get into fine details, you see the differences between the two. So we're back into daylight, let's continue on looking around. One other thing I do see, and I'm going to have to speculate on this for the moment because this car has just landed, but if you look at the door handles, so the door handle on this premium has one little button here, whereas the door handle on this Executive Plus has two buttons. On a premium, when I lock and unlock the car, just using the button, if you see the door handles over here, they retract or they come back out so I can use them. So lock, unlock. Because this Executive Plus has just landed, it's not set up yet, but my understanding on this car is they won't come out from the key, but what you will do is press this little symbol here. If you look at this premium, that symbol, normally what it does when you touch it, it opens things. In this case, on the premium, the charge door. On the Executive Plus, the charge door is identical, but just on this car, nothing is set up yet. So what I'm assuming is that little symbol is on each door handle. So what happens is, rather than them popping out after the door has been opened, if you want to use the door, you're probably going to touch that, it'll pop out, and then you can grab it and open it. But I'll be honest, I stand to be corrected on that, but at the time of the video, that's what I think is going to happen. So let's start looking around the differences on the inside, of which will mostly be around the actual material used on the seat. So if you look along here, this is a dark black plastic. So this is the Executive Plus model. Dark black plastic here and also here as well. The material on the seat, this is covered for the moment, but it is a cloth interior with half leather. So what I mean by that is on the rear seat there's half leather here, the middle of the seat is cloth. And I know this isn't a great video, but the center part is half leather, and then the other side over there is cloth again with half leather on the other edge over there. I do see two USB points in the rear, and then the back of this seat along here is a hard wearing plastic. Looking at the Premium, so the Premium appears to have black plastic along there. This, however, is leather along here, so there's a leather coating along the top along here, and then after that the interior is full black leather. Again, like we were saying before, this other video here will give you way more detail, and it'll run through the size of the car and specification and all that kind of stuff. Whereas this video here is really just trying to show you the differences between these two cars. The front, again, similar hard plastic. This is leather along here though. That's actually interesting. So is the back. Yeah, that's like hard plastic. Whereas the armrest on the driver's side up here seems to be a softer kind of leather. There's a little plate as you get in and out. There is electric seating. Again, the same idea here. So half leather along the sides with that kind of perforated style center on the seating. And then the roof is a light grey colour on this car. But mostly overall, looking at things like the dash, it's black. Around the screens is white, all right. And then this is a leather steering wheel, and I believe that this center pocket, yes, is movable on this Executive Plus. Things like wireless charging and USB connectors are down through there. Heating controls, which again you'll have seen in the other video. If you have a look at it, it'll go through everything. And then this screen, I'll do more detailed videos on this screen, but it's just to show you this is identical as far as I can see between the two. And this screen over here as well, again you'll see that on the other video where it goes through what's on it. So that looks to be identical on both cars. And just for the sake of comparison, so like we talked about already, there is a height adjustable seat on the passenger side, which is actually on Executive Plus as well. The material seems to be dark, the screens seem to be white in terms of their surroundings, so that looks identical. Again, leather on both of these, but we saw Executive Plus had that kind of leather sort of setup as well. The roof is a light grey, so that looks to be quite similar as well. And everything else here in the center all looks to be very, very similar. Similar heating controls. Like I said, the exact same screen over through here and through here as well. One thing though, on this Premium model, so Executive Plus has smart cruise control, which basically will slow you down when the car is in front of you. It regulates your speed to make sure you don't crash into the car and back when you're using cruise control. This one looks to have Highway Assist 2, which basically means that it's actually going to monitor what's going on sideways. So if a car gets too close to you, it'll move you away from it. So this is going to be on Premium only. But really, after looking at the two kinds of cars, the Executive Plus really has an absolute ton of features, and it's more fine detail when you start to move into Premium. So like I was saying, this video really was just to show you the differences on Executive Plus versus Premium. At the time of the video, there is a lot of people that would have ordered Executive Pluses and never seen one before, and they were only working off Premiums that were in showrooms, so that's why I wanted to get the video out quickly. So that's why it's not too detailed. I will have a video that will go through Executive and Executive Plus and Premium Plus. Hopefully very soon, whenever we have 4 cars in stock of those specifications. But in the meantime, if there's anything you want, 086-843-1945. Please do look at the other video because it's much more detailed, and it'll go into a lot of the stuff about Ioniq5, which is more about owning the car and charging the car and running the car and how it drives and all of the other features that are on the car. This is just a comparison video. Anyway, thanks a million for watching, guys. And before we forget, if there's any information you want, or if there's something I've missed in the video, let me know in the comment section below and I'll do my best to find out the answer. Thank you.